Yes, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Gunner Fan TV. Another match reaction. Arsenal 1, Newcastle 0. Let's get into it real quick. Pretty much a nothing game today. We weren't really looking forward to anything except we wanted to guarantee that fifth spot for the Champions League position for next season, and we did guarantee that today with a win over Newcastle. However, the showing itself overall wasn't that spectacular. We started out the game okay. However, the midfield got bossed by the Newcastle midfield. Over the period of the game, we were able to kind of get a little foothold. Raya definitely kept us in the game, even though he did cause us a couple of issues with his clearances, maybe one or two, but he did make up for that with some spectacular double saves earlier on in the game. Not really much to talk about. Again, we haven't really gained much this season in terms of silverware. We're not competing for anything. We're out the Champions League. The league title has gone to Liverpool, so there wasn't really anything that we were playing for except for that fifth spot position, which we wanted to guarantee today, and we did get that done. Overall performances, Roya was okay despite the mistakes he made. We'll give that to him because he did keep us in the game, making saves, and that's what he gets paid to do. And he did make a couple of good saves there. Defensive wise, I'm not really sure what happened to Saliba. I did not listen to Mikel's post-match interview to see if they asked him the question about Saliba, but Saliba came off in the second half and was replaced by Calafiori. I'm not really sure what that issue was, why he took him off. Hopefully it was a knock. I'm hoping it was a knock and not just to change things up. Because listen, that's worrying for me if you're taking out Saliba in the second half, because Saliba is one of our top defenders, and we know Real Madrid is lurking for Saliba. So, we don't want anything to unsettle him where he feels, he feels upset or he feels, and again, Arteta should know what he's doing, but, I'm hoping that it's just a knock and nothing more than that, and he just pulled him out. Not just to change the game, but just to give Saliba some rest. Kivior looked good again. Kivior has been consistent, and I really like seeing that. I don't think we need to put him up on the market. There's a good offer coming in. Yes, we can, because we can't upgrade in that position. We already have two left center back players in Kivior and Calafiori. I don't think we need two. And also Gabriel, who's our number one center back in that left center back position. So we could definitely do with an upgrade, but we shouldn't be in any rush to sell him for next season. Definitely he's been doing well since he's been deputizing for Gabriel. Skelly again looked really well. He's been consistent for an 18-year-old. He's class, and you can't ask for anything more than that. Another consistent game for Skelly. Ben White in spurts. Sometimes he looked out of it, but he had two good dribbles, two good shots. I think it was one went wide, and the other one I think was saved, or I think he was fouled or something of the sort. But he's looking like he's getting back into full fitness, and that's good. He's looking better. He's not quite there, but I think he had an okay game. Moving into midfield, Odegaard again for me wasn't even average. He was okay. Gave Rice the assists, but I think we've come to expect more from Odegaard, and he did not deliver that today again for me, in my eyes, in my opinion. I feel like he should be doing much better as a creative midfielder, but not much to say about him. He's just been pretty inconsistent over the season. Partey started off a bit shaky, bad passes here and there, was able to recover, to control of the midfield in the latter part of the game after he scored. But it wasn't really a class performance by Partey in my eyes. Definitely seen him play better, but it was an okay game. Rice, as usual, very consistent, scored a goal. Definitely, for me, the man of the match. Is in a shout with Trossard for me. Trossard, I thought, did have a good game, but scoring that goal, Rice, his defensive qualities, his his pressing, his ball carrying. Like he did a good job today in doing that, and just scoring the goal itself kind of topped it off for me, giving him the man of the match. Leandro Trossard played a good game today. I felt like he was very good on the ball. Yeah, he posed some threat. I remember one transition in the first half where he went down the line, sat the player down, came inside, shoot, was a deflection, went for a corner. So he had moments like that where he was very good on the ball, moving the ball around, taking on players. And when he's on his game, he's on his game. But when he's off, man, and he's really off. But today, I think he played well. Martinelli, I don't know, sometimes it's a love-hate relationship with Martinelli for me. I felt like he had an okay game. Attacking-wise, he was going up and down, and he did some defensive work also. But I felt like he annoys me sometimes with his decision-making, where I felt like in the last part of the game, in extra time, he had a chance to take on, I think it was Dan Burns, or Shear, one of them, but it was just him and the defender, and he opted to drift wide with the ball, ended up losing it actually, and it almost cost us. So stuff like that kind of upsets me and annoys me about Martinelli. But I think he definitely stay and improve. He's young. I think he's 22, 23. I don't think we should cash in for him yet right now. Maybe, when he's 24, 25, and if he hasn't improved, then I feel like we should cut ties with him. But I feel like he has more to offer, even as a backup. Definitely could use an upgrade in that department. I see potential in him going through the middle, actually. He looks way more dangerous because of his speed, and he can get behind defenders. So that's an option that Arteta could look at, but I don't think he will, because his style of play is very different from what the average coach would do. Saka was very average today. Again, he's not fully match fit, so he's still, to me, it's 80%, but he was all right. Wasn't really dangerous, but just an average game for Saka. Not much to say about that one. The issue I'm having now is the changes, to be honest. If you're taking out Saka and you're not putting in Ethan Nwaneri, for me, that's a problem. All right? You're taking out Saka, and Ethan was the one who actually deputized for Saka when he was out. And he did very well in that position, in my opinion. I think he did really well. He scored a couple of goals. He was very effective in that position. Even though that's not his preferred position, he filled that gap, and I think he played very well, playing down the right. Now you have Saka comes off, and then Havertz, who's been out for 4 months, who's just coming back from an operation, right? Pulled his hamstring, and he had to do operation. Him, Saka, and Gabriel, they have, or they had now, both of them had. So Saka is now free from that injury, and now Odegaard, Gabriel is still going through that. So they all had the same injury where they had to do surgery. Havertz is now ready to play. Ready to play now, is fit again to play. And instead of putting in Nwaneri, you put in Havertz, who's been out for 4 months. I just don't understand what's going on. There has to be something internally. I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know the internal works of what goes on within Arsenal's club. But from what I'm seeing from the outside, it doesn't look good. The optics are really bad, because you have a player who's just coming back from a 4-month injury, right? And you have a player who's been playing in Saka's stead, who looked really good when he covered down for Saka. And in that position, you think you'd put him in, but no, you put in Havertz. Well, I've never seen him play that position, to be honest. I've seen him through the middle. I've seen him play striker. I've never really seen him play right wing. Sorry. And that's a position for Nwaneri, and you don't put him on. And that's frustrating. Don't know what's going on there, but I'm interested to find out, interested to hear more. Has to be something deeper, and I'm pretty sure most of the fans are asking that same question: what is going on with Mikel Arteta and Ethan Nwaneri? Didn't feature him today. And then he goes on to put on Nwaneri, Tierney. I understand that. Tierney's last game. He's been a great servant to Arsenal. He deserves that. Deserves his final game. So I didn't have a problem with that. The problem I had was Jorginho. He tried to do the same with Jorginho. And Jorginho himself, too, is coming from an injury. coming back from an injury. I think he broke a rib or something like that. And he just looked horrendous today. He looked awful. Like he wasn't good on the ball, lost the ball, had a chance to shoot in the 18-yard box and just fumbled it and almost cost us several times. So that for me was just nonsense. Again, putting Ethan, you take out Odegaard and you bring him in. I get it. You know, the optics is you want him to say goodbye, but Ethan is the future of the club. You know, and you're putting him on you have him on the bench. You're not playing him in games like this where they're pretty much nothing games. You know, you want to give him that experience to get him ready for next year, and you're not. He needs games under his belt. And, you know, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I do get it. You're trying to give these guys like minutes, and, you know, you're trying to, whatever the case may be, man, I didn't like it. And it just upset me a little bit. But again, nothing to play for. There wasn't anything to gain here except the fifth spot for the guaranteed fifth spot for Champions League. But again, second again, listen, number one, if you're not number one, then nobody really cares. Two, you're not a winner. And three, nobody's going to remember you. So again, Arsenal number two, and we're second best. Let's see what happens next season. Let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks in the transfer window, if we're going to make big moves for striker or strikers, wingers, and hopefully attacking midfielder. And we'll take it from there. But there we go again, guys. Another match reaction. Listen, smash that, subscribe, comment. See you in the next one. Peace.